Hey guys, Christina from the Purple Alphabet, and I have an activity that you can make with your children. This is a paper weaving activity, and it's really easy, and it really just takes a couple of materials that you already have at home. So some construction paper, some glue, some scissors, kid scissors if they're going to be doing the cutting, adult if you're going to be doing your cutting, and then a marker. So first thing I'm going to do is pick out two different colors of paper. Doesn't really matter, whatever you want, whatever the kid wants. And you can do this two ways. You can either cut the paper yourself or you can have the child cut it. So if the child is going to cut it, you just need to take your marker and I draw some lines. Depending on how advanced of a cutter your child is, and depending on how advanced of a weaver they are, if they're a beginning weaver or they've done this many times before, that's how big your lines should have, or how much spacing should be in between your lines. Because what you're going to have them do is to take their scissors and cut on these lines, so it becomes cutting practice. If your child is not into cutting yet, then you can go ahead and do this for them. If you want to be straighter, you could also use a ruler if you're a little bit of OCD. Alright, now I didn't go up to the top on purpose, just because this is beginning weaving and I just want them to get the idea. Now on your second sheet of paper, I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half just so I have a guide of where I'm going to cut the strips. Once again, you can have your child do this if they are good at cutting, or you can handle this task yourself for them. You can also buy pre-made strips at Michael's, but if you don't want to spend the money, just save it yourself and cut them. So now I have little indentations, and I'm just going to cut along all my indentations here as a guide. Alright, so now I have some strips. I've practiced drawing lines, I've practiced some cutting, and now I get to practice some weaving skills. So very simple. For a beginner weaver, you just show them how to weave every other one across. Now notice that I have long strips, and then I also made my lines on my other paper the opposite direction, just for making it easier. Then the next one we place under here, and then over, and then once again under and over. So you demonstrate to your child how to do this, and then they can do the other strips as they go down. Now, as you go along, you can use some glue to help keep your ends in place. Gluing is also a great exercise if you just use a little bit of Elmer's or you use a little glue stick. It'll help keep your pieces still when you're weaving other pieces. Or if you're more advanced, you can wait to the end. I'm only going to glue down the ends. So this is a beginning step to weaving, so it incorporates some great things like the cutting the lines, drawing the lines, and then learning how to weave the paper in and out. If you want to get more advanced, you can do something like this, where you cut all of your slits thinner than the other one so that you have more pieces to weave through. So that would be a more advanced step. So when you have more of the longer pieces, you just have a bigger checkerboard. And then one last variation on this is to, instead of doing straight lines down, make curvy lines. So once again, a more advanced cutting and drawing skill. And so now I have a curved weaving pattern. So when I put in my strips, it's just going to have a different effect. So as you can see, it's really fun to do some paper weaving. It's great for learning all sorts of different skills for the drawing, the handwriting practice and the cutting, and then learning what different weaving patterns can make. So make sure to click subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and give me a thumbs up to show your love. See you next time. They're like $1/4 each, 35 cents each, depending on the item. And if you don't need a whole bunch of them, this honestly is the way to go, to get little